friends! Welcome to our cozy Storytime channel. Let's start our magical bedtime story. Are you ready for an adventure?
Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was a princess who loved to gaze at the moon. Every night she would go to her room with the wallpaper peeling off the walls, stare out of her window with the broken glass, and dream of a magical castle made of shimmering moonlight. She yearned to dance in moonlit halls and walk through gardens where flowers bloomed only under the moonlight. One night the princess was gazing at the moon when suddenly a shooting star streaked across the sky and landed in her garden. Excited, she put on her slippers and went outside to look for the fallen star. As she walked, she heard a small voice that said, "Help me, please." The princess followed the sound and saw a tiny yet beautiful castle made of pure moonlight shimmering in front of her. It was no bigger than a house, yet it looked like a palace from her dreams. As she got closer, the princess could see a little door made of polished moonlight at the front of the castle. And when she knocked on it, the door magically opened. Inside, the walls were covered with peeling wallpaper just like in the princess's room, and the windows were shattered. But despite this, the little castle was filled with the most beautiful moonlight, which poured out of every crack and cranny, making the whole place sparkle like 1,000 stars. In the middle of the room, the princess saw a little staircase made of polished moonlight going up to a door at the top. As she climbed the stairs, she heard a tiny voice that said, "Welcome to my castle. I am the Moon Princess, and I have been waiting for you." Turning around, the princess saw a beautiful girl about 12 years old standing behind her. She had long flowing hair like spun moonlight, and she was wearing a dress that sparkled like 1,000 stars. "You are the princess of the moon?" asked the real princess. "And why have you come to my world?" The moon princess told the real princess that her castle was dying because the moonlight was seeping out of it, and soon it would become so weak that no one would even know it existed. "Only someone who truly loves the moonlight can save my castle," she said. "But why do you want to help me?" The real princess told the moon princess that she loved to watch the moon and had often wished to visit the magical moonlit castle she had seen in her dreams. "I'm sorry I didn't invite you before," said the moon princess. "But now let me show you what we can do together." Hand in hand, the two princesses went to the windows, which were letting the moonlight pour out into the garden. "I want to make a wish," said the real princess, closing her eyes and concentrating very hard. "I wish these windows were whole again so that the moonlight could stay inside." When she opened her eyes, she was very happy to see that the windows were no longer broken. The moon princess hugged the real princess. "Thank you for helping me. Now let us fill this castle with even more moonlight." And so they spent the whole night dancing and singing in the beautiful moonlit halls, laughing and playing until the first rays of sunlight touched the castle. Then the moon princess took the real princess to the little door and said, "This is where we part ways. Thank you again for saving my castle." "Don't forget me," said the real princess, taking the moon princess's hand. "Of course I won't," replied the moon princess, smiling. "After all, you are the only human who has ever visited my castle. And besides, now we are friends." And with that, the moon princess disappeared, leaving the real princess all alone in the magical moonlit castle. When the first rays of sunlight touched the real princess, she, too, began to disappear. But before that, she had one last wish. I wish to see the moonlit castle every time I look up at the moon. And with that, the real princess disappeared, leaving the moonlit castle behind. From then on, whenever the princess gazed at the moon, she could see her beautiful moonlit castle, knowing that she had a friend who was always waiting for her in the magical land of the moon. The end.
Thank you for watching, little dreamers. We hope you love the story as much as we loved sharing it with you. If you enjoyed the adventure, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel so you never miss a magical bedtime story. And leave a comment to tell us what your favorite part was. Sweet dreams, and we'll see you next time for another magical tale. Good night.